In this video, we are going to cover the 20 settings that are set wrong in a default Microsoft 365 tenant. These settings persist even in a brand new M365 tenant that was spun up a couple of weeks ago, and they span the Entra ID, SharePoint, and Intune portals. Even if you manage an existing Microsoft 365 tenant, do take the time to go through these settings, as I have seen them wrongly set in many of my client tenants. So let's start with the Entra ID portal. So let's just go into the Microsoft 365 Admin Center and let's pull up the Microsoft Entra ID portal by clicking on the Identity section on the left-hand side. So let's wait for the portal to load. And within the Entra ID portal, we have settings being wrongly set from the get-go by Microsoft in the user settings, groups, devices, and enterprise applications. So let's start with the users. So on the left-hand side or the left-hand pane of the Entra ID portal, let's click on users and let's click on the user settings from within the middle pane. So let's click on user settings over here and let's wait for the settings to load. And let's start with the first one. So the first one is users can register applications. We don't want our users to register applications without letting the admin know. So we have to turn that off. It is set to yes at the moment. So let's click and toggle it to off. The second option is restrict non-admin users from creating tenants, and it's set to no, which basically means non-admin users can create tenants. We really don't want that to happen. So let's click that to yes. The third setting that we have is users can create security groups. We don't want that to happen. I mean, there might be situations in which certain organizations may want to allow users to create security groups, but 99% of the organizations don't want that to happen. So if you are one of those, let's click on the toggle switch and set it to no. Next one that we have is guest user access restrictions. This is pretty okay from the get-go. Guest users have limited access to properties and memberships of directory objects. That seemed to be okay. I mean, if you want to go with the most restrictive, you have the third option, but this seems to be okay. The next one up is restrict access to Microsoft Entra Admin Center. We really don't want, again, users to have access to Entra Admin Center. It's called Admin Center for a reason. So let's restrict that by clicking it to yes. And next up that we have is about LinkedIn. Do you want to allow users to connect their work or school account with LinkedIn? It is not a good practice because, especially when staff moves into a different organization, we really don't want our IDs to be tied in with their personal LinkedIn account. So it's a good practice to set it to no. I mean, it's not a deal breaker. It's entirely up to the organization, but I would say a preferable option will be to set it to no. Let's click on no in my case, and let's click on save. So these are the user settings. So we have covered about 7 or 8 of them within the user settings itself, which are wrongly configured and which will have an implication, especially things like users can register applications on their own without letting the administrator know. Now let's shift gears and let's move to the groups. So let's click on groups on the left-hand side and let's wait for the pane to load, and let's click on general within the settings in the middle pane. So let's click on general and it loads up the group options that we have. Now, the second one over here, restrict user ability to access group features in my groups. I would say I would prefer it to be set to yes. Again, make up your mind regarding what your business wants to do, but my general preference would be to set it to yes. Next up, within security groups, users can create security groups in Azure portals, API, or PowerShell. Next one is all about groups. So security groups, users can create security groups in Azure portals, API, or PowerShell. That's now set to no, which is the one that we want because we don't want users to create it. It mostly gets set to yes, but because we changed the option within users that they can't create groups, it has been flipped to no over here. So that's good. The next one is regarding Microsoft 365 groups. Again, users can create Microsoft 365 groups in Azure portals, API, or PowerShell. It's set to yes. I would say no, we don't want users to be creating Microsoft 365 groups. I mean, I have seen the very rare organizations in which they allow Microsoft 365 groups to be created by end users. So if you're one of them, you can set it to yes. But 95% I would say go with no. So let's click on no and let's save the settings. The next one that we have is regarding devices. So for that, let's click on devices in the left-hand pane. Let's wait for the settings to load. And within devices, let's click on the device settings within manage. So the first option, users may join devices to Microsoft Entra, is set to all. That seems to be okay. I mean, we want users to be joining devices in a controlled manner, of course, by satisfying MFA or one of those control pane. Next one, users may register the devices with Entra ID. Okay. Next up, require MFA to register or join devices with Microsoft Entra. It's set to no. I would say we set it to yes so that we have some level of control or a second authentication mechanism when you are registering a device into your Entra. So I would say yes over here to confirm the user's identity. And as it says over here, if you're using conditional access, then we set it to no. But if you don't have a conditional access policy that kind of covers MFA, we can click this to yes. So let's set it to no because I do have a conditional access policy that kind of covers MFA. Next option that we have, maximum number of devices per user. It's set to 50. Really? I don't think we want to have any users to be carrying 50 devices. I don't think we will have one of those. So let's set it to a realistic number. Let's say 5. Maybe you might have the odd user in which they may have more than 5 devices, but I would say a setting less than 10 will be ideal. Let's set it to either 5 or 10. Let me go with 5 over here, but you make a judgment call on that based on your business requirement. Regarding local administrator settings, when you join devices into Entra, registering user is added as a local administrator on the device. That means when you have a user, let's say example, user A is joining a device into Entra, do you want that user to be a local administrator on the device? My setting would be none. We don't want users to be having local admin rights on the device. Next one, enable Microsoft Entra Labs. I would say yes, so that we can control and rotate the passwords of the admin account on the machine. The next one is restrict users from recovering the BitLocker keys for their own devices. We are not restricting at the moment by saying no, but we should say yes over here because we don't want users to have access to the BitLocker keys because they can easily boot into recovery mode, use the keys, and then have admin access using the command prompt. Next section is about enterprise applications. So for that, let's click on enterprise apps within the left-hand pane, consent and permissions. And over here within user consent settings, nothing is selected, but we have to say do not allow user consent, which basically means that administrator will be required for all the app consents to be in place. So that is the ideal setting that we have and that we should be having. So let's turn it on and let's click on save to save that particular setting. Similarly, let's click on the admin consent settings. And here we can specify who can have rights to consent to an app. So users can request admin consent to apps they are unable to consent to. We can click on yes. And here we can either pick the users that you want, or my preference will be to add the roles. So let's click on add roles so that anyone with these kind of roles are given permissions to make the consent on behalf of the user. So let's say application administrator, for example. Do we have one of those? Yes, application administrator and global administrator, of course. Over here. You can add more of those if you want. Let me just stick with global admin and app admin for the time being. And the selected users will receive email notification for the request. We want that to be yes. And the selected users will receive when the request expire. And that's set to yes, that's good. And let's click on save. Now let's switch gears and go into the SharePoint portal. So for that, let's go back into the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. And from the left-hand pane, let's click on SharePoint to load the SharePoint portal. Let's wait for it to load. And one main one that we want to change over there is regarding the sharing within the policies. So within the left-hand pane, let's expand policies and let's click on sharing. And over here, we can see that at the moment, anyone can share files and folders using the links. So you don't have to have any kind of sign-in. So anyone, it's kind of open to everyone. You may want to dial this external sharing down depending upon what kind of an organization you are. So if you are some kind of a sensitive regulated body or some kind of a secure organization like Department of Justice, those kind of things, maybe you want to have permissions only for users within your organization. In that case, you dial it down all the way so that only people in your organization have access to the shares and the links that you share from SharePoint and OneDrive. If you are a bit more flexible, maybe you want to give permissions to the existing users and see what happens. Or if you want to just include all the users and any existing and new guest, you can dial it up a bit. But I would say we may want to change it from anyone and bring it down depending upon your organization style. So I'll go with least restrictive in my case. Now let's click on access control within the left-hand pane, and let's wait for it to load, and let's click on unmanaged devices. So over here, unless you want your users to be potentially synchronizing the organization data on their own devices, you may want to change this option that we have over here. So let's just change it to allow limited web-only access, or maybe completely block the access, depending upon how sensitive your organization is. So if you want to allow just the web access, click with the second option. But if you just want to completely block it off, you can just say block. But let me keep limited web-only access for the time being and click on save and confirm. Okay, let's close out of it. Now let's expand the more external sharing settings. And over here, by default, allow guests to share items they don't own is checked by default. We want to uncheck that option to make it much more secure. And if you scroll down further, we can say choose the permission that's selected by default for sharing links. We may want to change that to view. We don't want edit as an option by default being given to everyone, especially if you have the policy over here set as anyone can have access to the shared files and folders by using the link. So in my case, let me just dial it down and let me just click it as view. So here, when you dial it down, only people in your organization has access to the files and folder links. And let me click on save. Now let's come out of this SharePoint portal and go into the Intune one. So for that, let's click on the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. On the left-hand pane, let's go into Microsoft Intune for the Intune portal to be loaded. So let's wait for it to load. And within Intune, let's click on Devices. Within the middle pane, let's click on Enrollment. And let's go into Device Platform Restriction. And let's click on the All Users, which is the default policy that we have. And let's click on Properties. And over here, let's edit the property settings. And we want to just block all the personally owned devices, if that is the choice that you make as an organization. So let's click on Block for all of the types that we have. Click on Review and Save. And save again. Under Organized Devices, let's click on Device Cleanup Rules. And let's create a new policy because we don't want devices to be lingering around in Intune once they have been deleted from Entra or once they have been fallen out from the scope. So let's say Cleanup Rules. And let's select, say, all the platforms. Click on Next. Remove devices that have been checked in for this many days. So we don't want devices to be lingering around, as I mentioned. So a realistic number will be, say, 1 month or 2 months maximum. So in my case, I'll just go with 1 month. So what it says over here is once you create the rule, all devices inactive for the number of days you set will be removed from Intune. And Intune will keep removing devices that are inactive for that many number of days. So here, this is just a cleanup exercise in the background, so we don't have to keep an eye on it. So if the device has been inactive for a month, then the devices are removed from Intune. I mean, if you want to increase it to, say, 2 months, you can stick 60 days over there instead of 30. Or if you want to have a longer one, depending upon your organization preference, you can set that, but it's always good to have some sort of device cleanup rule within the portal. So I'll go with 30 over here. Let me click on Next and click on Create to create the policy. Now, while we are within the device section of the Intune portal, let's go under Manage Devices and click on Compliance. And within the Compliance middle pane, let's click on the Compliance setting on the top middle. And let's say mark devices with no compliance policy assigned as compliant. We don't want that. We don't want devices that are non-compliant to be marked as compliant. So let's set that to non-compliant. And you can have a validity period, say, for example, 30 days. If you want to tweak that to 14, or if you want to slightly increase or keep 30, that's okay. So let's click on Save. so that the devices that are non-compliant are not assigned as compliant. If you found this video informative, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss an upcoming video. Thank you.